I already have a real bike. Why would I want to downsize? Do I even fit? I wonder if I'll get bored of this thing. I wonder what my friends are gonna think. Are people gonna make fun of me on this? Why do I want a bike with less power? Was this a waste of money? At 6'4" and 220 pounds, these were only a few of my concerns about buying a mini moto. And I know what you're thinking. Why would a guy my size even consider a bike this small? Well, stick around, because I'm gonna answer that. But first, I want to take you back to a time when we were in elementary school. You head for your locker at the end of the day, you grab your backpack full of 800 pounds of books, and you head for the bus. And there you sit, staring out the window for a 35-minute, seemingly endless ride home. And you're not thinking about homework. The only thing you're thinking about is what's waiting for you in the shed out behind the house. The absolute coolest thing any kid can ever ask for, a mini bike. You pull it out, give it a kickstart, 70 cc's of pure freedom. It fires up and you head out to the trails you made to shred for hours. Time itself seems almost non-existent. The only thing bringing you home at this point is the need for fuel or food. And this, my friends, is some of the best memories I have growing up as a kid. And that brings us to June of 2024. I went to a large radio-controlled airplane event in my area, and I ran into my buddy Alex there, and he was cruising around on his 2023 Honda Monkey bike. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, dude, you have to take this thing for a ride. It's the Smile Machine." And I kind of looked at it like, man, that's a little small for me, don't you think? He says, just ride it, just ride it. So I took off and I went into the little town that was next to the event, and I ripped around on some of the back roads for about a half an hour, and dang it, I was smiling the entire time. He was so right. It wasn't about speed, it wasn't about power or size of the bike, it was just about fun, and a ridiculous amount of it, surprisingly. That ride was all it took. Right then and there, I knew I had to have one. And after a lifetime of riding normal size motorcycles, that's how I ended up here, with my own mini moto. Before I rode one of these, I would have agreed with all the naysayers. Oh, you gotta have a bigger bike, you gotta have something faster, you're gonna get bored of this thing. But I gotta be honest, this is some of the most fun I've had on two wheels in years. It's light, it's zippy, and every time I put it in the garage, all I can think about is the next time I get to go ride. It's like rediscovering why I fell in love with motorcycling in the first place. It strips away all the pressure of a big bike and just gives you sort of an unfiltered fun. These bikes are just so easy to throw around. Unlike a bigger motorcycle, these just feel effortless. You're just out goofing off, having fun. You're carving up city streets, ripping down back roads, or exploring little places that some big bikes would struggle with. Another really cool feature of a mini moto is you can crank the throttle on this thing and not even break the speed limit. On a regular sport bike, you're barely getting into second gear and you're already into speeding ticket territory. It reminds me of a quote I heard once. It's more fun to ride a slow bike fast than it is to ride a fast bike slow. And there is so much truth in that. That, I think, defines the mini moto category. Another one of the coolest things about the mini moto is the reactions you get. It's impossible to take yourself too seriously when you're riding one of these. I mean, let's be honest, it's kind of funny to see a guy my size riding around on a mini bike, but you look over and you see someone chuckling and they give you a wave, or you get a nod or a thumbs up from another rider. These bikes just make people happy. And speaking of things that make us happy, let's talk about coffee. The fun things in my life are most times powered by caffeine and gasoline. So I want to give a quick shout out to one of my local suppliers, my friends over at M&H Beans. You can find their website and social media links below in the description to this video. When I ride into their shop on my mini moto, I'm always met with a smile and an awesome selection of coffee. So if you like supporting small business and you love great coffee, head over to their website and check them out. They source everything responsibly and they roast all their beans in-house. They also carry a super nice selection of loose leaf teas, and they even have a signature barbecue rub. I purchase more than half of my coffee beans from them every month, and I'm sure you'll love them as much as I do. Also, as a quick side note, I do buy everything from them at regular price. They did not sponsor me in any way. I just wanted to spread the love. So make sure to leave them a comment on the checkout page to let them know that Eric from Cup and Clutch sent you their way. That leads to the next thing I love about mini motos, which is that they are affordably priced. These little bikes are approachable for riders of all skill levels, they're fun to modify and tinker with, and they are surrounded by an absolutely fantastic community. And last but not least, let's talk about the elephant in the room, me. A big guy on a little mini bike. And to be totally honest, the comfort level has actually been really good. If I sit right here on the seat, I mean, I'm not gonna sit way up here, but if I sit right here on the seat, which is not all the way back where a passenger, I wouldn't carry a passenger on this bike being the size that I am, but if I sit right here in the middle of the seat, my knees hit perfectly where they are supposed to go. I have not found this to be an issue comfort-wise at all. This little bike I can stretch out just fine, and it has been an absolute joy to ride. Now that I have one, this thing will always have a spot in my garage. I am hooked. At the end of the day, it's not about looking the coolest or going the fastest. It's about having the most fun, and for that, I would say the Minimoto is unbeatable.